What's up guys, it's your boy Damnboitv back with another video. Today we're gonna have a look at phase 6 best in slot gear for UBrican Warriors. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that sub button. Let's get into it. To start out with, I just want to show you the phase 5 beast gear. In this gear we'll be using Chromatic Tempered Sword, Marathas Rune Blade of the Black Flight. I have made a minor change compared to my last video on phase 5 beast gear, and that is using Mantle of the Wicked Revenge instead of tier 2.5. With Mantle of the Wicked Revenge you will still have 7% hit, 1% less than compared to with tier 2.5, but you're actually gaining 14 agility instead of getting 4 strength in 1 hit. I would say the 14 agility is worth more than the 1% hit and 4 strength. You do look like a rogue, so if you want to go with the tier 2.5 shoulders, do that and look like a badass warrior. Anyway, moving on to phase 6 beast gear. We're still going to be using Mantle of the Wicked Revenge, Lionheart Helm, Stormage Talisman of Seething, Shroud of Dominion, Plated Abomination Ribcage, Hype Defiler Wrist Guards from AQ, 2 weapons, Aggressive Dawn of Ruin from Kelthuzad, the Hungering Cold from Kelthuzad as well, Larvae of the Great Worm from AQ, Slayer's Crest from Sephiron, Kiss of the Spider from Magstand Naxxramas. Quick Strike Ring will still be the best in slot ring, if you're Alliance, that is. Band of Unnatural Forces from Naxxramas Loathup. Chromatic Boots from Chromagus Plaguebringer will still be best in the slot, like I mentioned earlier in another video. Leg Plates of Carnage from Hyken the Unclean. Girdle of the Mentor from Instructor Vesuvius. Gauntlets of Annihilation is still bis from AQ40 Kethun, or however you want to say that. And I must admit the swords actually look pretty badass. I like them a lot. Anyway, like my last best in slot guide, I will be going through each boss, looking at all the loot for warriors there is for DPS Warriors. So let's get into that. So first up is UBrican. This boss drops a pair of bracers called Wrist Guards of Vengeance, 24 strength, 10 stamina and 1 crit. These are your go-to bracers if you do not have Hive Defiler Wrist Guards. Also, if you want to get stamina you can use them, but obviously this is a best in slot guide for DPS, so we're gonna go with Hive Defiler Wrist Guards if we have them. But otherwise, Wrist Guards of Vengeance is your second option. There's only around 1 DPS difference in a 60-second fight. Next up is Grand Widow Fairlina. She drops a sword called Widow's Remorse. Looks pretty cool actually. It has 62.8 DPS, 1.6 speed, 100 armor, 17 stamina and 1% hit. This sword is only good if you don't have Brutality Blade in offhand. Brutality Blade actually has around 9 DPS higher DPS in a 60-second fight. If you are hit capped, that is. If you're not hit capped, this sword would be decent for you. Next we have Naxxramas. She drops a very nice trinket, the best in slot trinket called Kiss of the Spider. 1% crit, 1% hit, and a use that gives you 20% attack speed for 15 seconds with a 2 minutes cooldown. This is an insane trinket and I'm so looking forward to getting it myself someday. And imagine popping it during the execute phase and just getting that tons of extra rage back to use on executes. It's gonna be insane. But this is your best in slot trinket. She also drops Naxxramas Fang, 65 DPS, 8 stamina, 36 attack power and 1% hit. A dagger with 1.8 speed. If you're a warrior using Edgemaster's Gauntlets, this could be a decent upgrade for you, for your offhand. but there is a better choice from Kelthuzad, so it's not the best in slot one. Next up, we're gonna look at Nov the Plaguebringer. This guy drops Cloak of the Scourge, 23 stamina, 30 attack power, and 1% hit. This is a decent cloak, but it's nothing special. The Black Moon Lair one is better, in my opinion. From Saffron, you can get one that gives you 1% crit and 50 attack power. This is just way better. We do not need the hit. Like, when we are in phase 5, you'll get so much hit, you'll never have to think about it again. Also, he drops Hatchet of Sundered Bone. This is an axe with 2.6 speed, 65.4 damage per second, 36 attack power, and 1% crit. If your warrior's using eddies or an orc, and you still want to use axes, this is your go-to axe. It doesn't look as cool as the Black Moon Lair axes though, but it is definitely an upgrade. But this is the best axe you can get in Classic, so if you want to really min-max your DPS, you want to go swords. Next we have Hyken the Unclean. Hyken. He drops a lot of frost resistance. And he drops the best in slot legs called Leg Plates of Carnage. 42 strength, 18 stamina, and 2% crit. Insane stats, basically. They look like this. Nothing to write home to your mom about, but they are best in slot. Next we have Loathep. Loathep drops the best in slot ring, 1% crit, 1% hit, and 52 attack power. This is your go-to ring. And the rest of the loot is basically just for other classes. Next we have Instructor Vesuvius, or however you say that. Mr. Vesuvius drops Girdle of the Mentor. Finally, you can replace Onslaught Girdle. Girdle of the Mentor, 21 strength, 20 agility, 21 stamina, 1 crit and 1 hit. It's gonna be your best in slot belt. The belt looks like this, a nice little skull on it. Decent look. It provides you with 1% crit more from the 20 agility, but around, was it 10 less strength though. He also drops a sword called Iblis Blade of the Fallen Seraph. This almost looks like a sword from Game of Thrones. The Dragon Princess's ex-boyfriend, the huge guy. It has 63 DPS, 1% crit, 1% hit, 26 attack power. This is a great alternative to the best in slot offhand, the Hunger and Cold. The damage difference is only 14 DPS in a 60-second fight. So if you can get the sword, get it for sure. The stats on it is just, the stats are amazing basically. Moving on to Gothic the Harvester, we have no mentionable items here. Sadist Collar, it's just a bad item. Lots of stamina, but a bad item. You can get the one from the Eye of a Car. It has 40 attack power and 1% crit, but no stamina. So let's just move on. The 4 Horsemen, we do not have any best in slot items. We do have a bow that's almost as good as the best in slot bow. Gives you 6 stamina, 1% crit, and 16 attack power. The best in slot ranged weapon is still Larvae of the Great Worm, because it provides you with 2 more attack power. But Soulstring gives you 6 stamina, so if you want to have a little bit more stamina for 2 attack power, do that. But if you want to min-max, stay with Larvae of the Great Worm. On top of that, he also drops Corrupted Ashbringer, a very iconic weapon. This is a PvP weapon, It's 90 DPS, 3.6 speed, inflicts the will of the Ashbringer upon the wielder, 2% crit, 1% hit, and it has a chance on hit to steal 185 to 215 life from target enemy. This might, I don't know if that works, but this might be a weapon that could actually have some bugs with it. So if you have plus healing, maybe it stacks with the chance on hit. I'll have to test that when we get to phase 6. Next up we have the big abomination patchwork. This guy drops nothing of nothing worth mentioning. Healing back, a finger with 34 agility, a wand, a shield, nice for tanking I guess. If you are old school deep prot warrior, drops a decent axe, 43 strength, 18 stamina, 2% crit, and 82 DPS. It looks pretty cool, but I must admit the Grand Marshal Claymore looks a bit cooler than this. Moving on to gropolis, another useless boss for few DPS warriors. He does have a gun with 28 attack power, 10 stamina. Again, Larvae of the Great Worm is the go-to. Next we have Bluth, the dog. Once again, a non-worthy boss for few warriors. Nothing that we could actually use for anything. He does drop a two-hand sword for PvP, Claymore of Unholy Might. Looks decent I guess. Personally I don't like it, but it's different at least. Third last boss is Thaddeus. Here we have plated abomination ribcage. Best in slot chest. 45 strength, 25 stamina, 1% crit, and 1% hit. This is your best in slot chest. The rest of the loot, we have the Castigator, a mace with 65 DPS, 9 stamina, 1 crit and hit, and 16 attack power. This is a decent upgrade until you can get Gressel's Dawn of Ruin, if you are human that is, because you need that 305 weapon skill. It is actually, as a human of course, with the 5 mace skill, it is only 20 DPS from the best in slot weapon, the Gressel Dawn of Ruin. So it's a nice alternative till you can get Gressel Dawn of Ruin, if you're human. The second last boss, Fern, drops our best in slot cloak like mentioned earlier, Shroud of Dominion, 11 stamina, 1% crit and 50 attack power. Just great stats basically. On top of that, he actually drops the enchants as well for your shoulders. There's one for each spec. And the shoulders that we want are Might of the Scourge, 26 attack power and 1% crit. So it's 4 less attack power, but instead you get 1% crit on top of that compared to the CG enchant. So that's really nice. On top of that, he also drops Slayer's Crest. This is the second best in slot trinket. 64 attack power as long as you have it on, and a use with 2 minutes cooldown that increase your attack power by 260 for 20 seconds. Basically an insane trinket. Basically Drakefang Talisman on steroids. And that is it for Mr. Safarian. He does drop a fist weapon as well. Not that any warriors are gonna use it, but let's have a look at it. Basically just looks like a evolved pirate's claw, right? It's nothing special. Last but not least, we have Kelthuzad, the final and last boss in Naxxramas. This bad boy drops Stormbridge Talisman of Seething, 12 stamina, 2% crit, 26 attack power. Great stats, insane, basically. He also drops the best in slot ranged weapon. For some reason I have missed this weapon, Nerubian Slave Maker. This is of course the best in slot. Lorry of the Great Worm is outdated and I missed this by mistake. It provides you with 24 attack power, 1% crit. And that is actually 6 attack power more than the one from Uro. Lorry of the Great Worm. My bad. On top of that, he drops our weapons. Gressel, Dawn of Ruin, 73 DPS, 2.7 speed, 15 stamina, and 40 attack power. Best in slot main hand weapon. And it looks pretty awesome as well. With that jaw here moving up and down. On top of that, he also of course drops the best in slot offhand, the Hunger and Cold, which looks even cooler. Hunger and Cold has 73 DPS, 1.5 speed, perfect as an offhand, 140 armor and 14 stamina, and increased swords by 6. So here we have it, our 2 best in slot weapons. He also drops King's Fall, the best in slot dagger. If you use Edge Masters, this is the best in slot dagger you can get in your offhand. 73 DPS, 1.8 speed, 16 agility, 1% crit and 1% hit. This dagger doesn't look like much. It has a pretty decent look to it, a nice glow I guess. But the swords, in my opinion, do look way better. But if you're using Edge Masters and you're not human, you could use this dagger in your offhand. Of course, no problem. It would be nice for the sword warriors that you use this instead of taking the Hunger and Cold. Please remember though that the swords provide you with the highest DPS outcome possible. On top of that, he also drops Might of Menethil. This is the best in slot two-hander for PvP, or if you're Horde playing Slam Spec or something like that. I don't know much about the Horde side, but this is the best in slot two-hander you can get in the game. 95 DPS, 3.8 speed, it doesn't get better. 20 strength, 46 stamina, and 2% crit. And it looks pretty cool, right? It's pretty big, almost as big as the Claymore, but definitely way better stats. Let's not forget the trash loot. On the trash, Goldskin Tunic can drop, 40 strength, 22 stamina, 2 crit. It is leather though. It sims the same as Plated Abomination Ribcage. So if you want to use one more piece of leather, go right on ahead. Personally, I'm gonna stick with the plate chest. The trash can also drop Misplaced Servo Arm. If you're human, this is a decent upgrade if you have a sword like Chromatically Tempered Sword, because this one obviously does more DPS, 65 DPS, 2.8 speed, and has a chance to do 100 to 150 nature damage to your target. Last but not least, Harbinger of Doom, a dagger with 1.6 speed, 8 agility, 8 stamina, 1 hit and 1 crit, drops as well. This is also a decent weapon, but again, Kelthuzad drops a dagger that is even better than this one. But this is your second alternative. And that actually sums it up for this beast guide. So this is how we're gonna look when you someday get your full beast gear as a warrior. At least as a human, this is how it looks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or the like, feel free to check out my Twitch. I stream 3 times a week, Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday from 7:30 PM till around 11-12 PM. Please throw me a sub, a like and a comment down below. It would be greatly appreciated. And as always, have a damn great day out there.